أعزائي طلاب الصف الأول الثانوي، أهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من تدريس الأحياء باللغة الإنجليزية. إن شاء الله النهاردة هنتكلم عن continuity about the enzymes. This round can explain about the properties of the enzymes, structure of enzymes, and the enzymes important for our daily life, and the limited of enzymes enter the structure of our life. Properties of the enzymes similar to the other chemical catalysts because they participate in the chemical reactions inside the cell to speed them up without being affected or consumed. Enzymes are highly specific than other chemical catalysts, as each enzyme is a specific force. That means that each enzyme has a specific substrate. For example, key and lock. In enzymes play an important role as act of the key substrate. In enzymes it's act and the lock and the substrates at a key. اوكي، يعني معنى كده ان القفل هيبقى الانزيمز والمفتاح هيبقى السبستريت. يعني احنا عارفين الكلام ده ان مفيش ماده او مفيش قفل بيتفتح الا بالمفتاح بتاعه. اوكي، فور اكزامبل in this point الانزيم act a lock and substrate act a key. So each enzyme has a specific substrate. For examples, enzymes digestions the proteins as the pepsin enzymes. As a substrate, it's called proteins. So the proteins, it is the substrate. It's act as a key, and the lock, it's called enzymes. Okay, جميل. On reactant substance called substrate. One type or few types of reactions. Enzyme reduce the activation's energy needing from the starting the reactions. Enzymes are affected in their actions by the hydrogen ions, concentration, pH, and temperature. This point we must be explained. pH. What the meaning of pH? The concentrations of positive hydrogen ions in a solid, whether it's neutrals, acidic, or basic. That means that pH 7 neutrals are the waters. pH less than 7 is acidic. The most acidic, it's 1. So it's acidic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Acidic starting from 8, 9, 10, reaching to 15s. The most basic or alkalines 15s. That's right. This is essential for the structures of enzymes, so it affects directly in the structure of enzymes. Okay. Enzymes and substrates. See it previously. Enzyme act a lock and substrate act a key. Each enzyme combines with the substrate, forming intermediate compound. After that, the enzymes, okay, play an important role in speed or accelerate the chemical reactions, so the products of the chemical compound it's found in it. We can differentiate between the enzymes and substrate and the products, okay, from these reactions. Substrate plus enzymes, unsuitable intermediate compound, producing products of reactions plus enzyme. Enzyme not affecting the products, so it's make only speed the chemical reaction without changing in the products. That's right. Okay? The actions mechanism of enzymes based on the log K theory, where the substrate shape affects exactly that the enzyme through what is known as active site. What the meaning of active site? المكان اللي بيدخل منه المفتاح، اللي هو مين؟ اللي هو الكي، اللي هو الانزيمز. في مكان بيدخل منه المفتاح، المكان ده هو الاكتيفيشن سايتس. Okay. The speed of the enzymatic reactions increase by increasing the number of the substrate molecules, bending with the enzymes molecules till reaching the saturation state. That means that at which all the substrate molecules are bending with the enzymes molecules, therefore the stability of the enzymes activity take place. That means that I take you about this, this is examples. The enzymes play an important role in digestion of the starch. Substrate is starch, for example, rice, pasta, macaroni, رز, bending with the enzymes. So, for example, thiolins that found in the buccal digestion in the mouse, or pancreatic amylase play an important role in digestion of the starch. Substrates such as the starch bending with the enzymes. The enzyme bending with the substrate and they play important role in accelerate these reactions. Finally, the substrate increasing the concentration until digestions all completely to the starch. Then the activity of the enzyme stop completely after the all starch is digestions and they change into 2 molecules of glucose. It's called maltose. That's right. So the enzymes molecules, therefore stability of the enzyme activity take place. That's right. Okay. Take your times these questions. Enzymes. Illustrate which of the following graph illustrating the relations between the speed of the reaction and the enzyme concentrations. Graph, the two graphs. First graphs, it's explaining the relations between speed of the chemical reactions, directly proportionals. Second graph, inverse proportions. Third graph is speed of the reaction, enzyme concentrations. That means that increase and directly proportions until the all substrate, it's completely digestions, okay? Then it returning to the stability after after digestions completely on the substrate. That's right, okay? The dried fruits and vegetables can be stored for a longer period for time than the fresh fruits and the vegetable without being rotten. What the meaning of this rotten? تتعفن يعني. يعني معنى كده احنا قلنا قبل كده ان الماده اللي موجوده في الفروتس الووترز essential for life found essential for lives موجوده في كل حياتنا. عشان كده بنقول الووترز تعتبر activated medium appropriate medium for growth of the enzyme of bacteria or pathogens or fungus. So it's preserve the dried fruit in the shape of dried في شكل جاف عشان يعمل protections. That's right. Okay. Some food like jam and molasses, جام للمربى والمولاسس اللي هو العسل الاسود can be written for a longer period of times without being rotten. يعني هو بيقول لك هنا في comparison between ان احنا بنجيب الدرايد فروت وبنحفظها بتقعد فتره طويله جدا for life. For يعني not for life in actually but it's a longer times. But the molasses اللي هو العسل الاسود and the jams المربى ممكن تتعفن. ليه؟ الجامز والمولس is containing a large amount of waters. So it's essentials or appropriateness for the growth of the pathogens and the microbes. Enzyme of microbe and pathogen in essentials in it, so it's rotten quickly. But the red fruit it's not written, not at all. The main reason for the two cases together is A, that the enzyme's actions is slowed down on the shortage of waters. P, that is the rapid activity of enzymes take place on the decreasing the temperatures. C, the capacity of the enzyme action is inside outside the cells. D, the matching between the substrate molecules and the enzymes. E, that is the enzyme concentration affecting its activity. I tell you, choose two correct answers from A, B, C, D, and E. Okay? The enzyme action is slowed down on the shortage of waters. That's right or no? The rapid activity of the enzyme takes place on the decreasing temperatures, not related to temperatures. We called about the enzymes waters. It's appropriate for the crossing and normal growth of pathogens and the microbes. C, the capacity of the enzyme action inside and outside the cell. It's right. The matching between the substrate and the microbes and the enzymes. E, the enzymes concentrations affected is activity. Okay. So the best answer A and C. Okay. Factors that affecting the speed of the enzyme actions. Pay attention, please, dear student. Enzymes, biological catalysts made of proteins. That's right. Turning to the previous explanations about the amino acid, enter in essential for the structure of the proteins. Okay. Carboxyl group, COH. Acidic groups, carboxyl group is acidic. And the amines group H2N is acidic. And terminal group R can differentiations between the amino acid and another types. Essential are enter the structure alpha carbons that connection between each others. So the enzymes, it's consists of the proteins, so it's affecting directly with temperatures, hydrogen ion concentrations, pH. Why pH? Because its enzymes is consisted of proteins and two sides of proteins, carboxyls. COH, negative atomic groups, okay, it's acidic. And the amine group H2N is acidic or alkalines. Enzyme concentrations is directly proportional with the substrate until reaching the digestive it completely. Substrate concentrations, okay, for examples عندي حته لحمه كبيره جدا، الانزيمز معاها هيشتغل معاها، هل الانزيم هيشتغل مع حته اللحمه الصغيره دي هيزيد ولا يقل؟ اكيد اوريدي هيبقى الكونسنتريشن زاد، يبقى الكونسنتريشن بتاعت الانزيم هيزيد. That's right. Presence of the inhibitor. What's the meaning of inhibitors؟ مثبطات، اي عوامل خارجيه. عشان كده احنا بنقول التمبريتشرز. انت دلوقتي لو درجه حرارتك سخنت، الابروبريتنس للتمبريتشرز في الهيومن بادي it's ranging between 37 Celsius degree, 37 Celsius degree to 40. When the temperature reaching to 40, we can sense for the shell and secreting sweat. not had the ability to any make a vital process. مش قادر تعمل أي حاجة. Why? Because the activity of the enzymes is decreased. I may be reaching to stop completely. Okay. Okay. Inhibitors are the chemical compound which binding with the enzymes, which lead to decreasing the enzyme actions temporarily, not permanently. There is a difference between temporary and permanently. Inhibitors make in temporary, not permanently, or permanently. Inhibitor may be make permanently, but it due to the destruction completely for the enzymes, not activations, but it stop completely. So the vital process is stop completely and lead to death. That's right. Okay. The following details illustrating for the effect of each of the temperatures and the hydrogen ions concentration of the enzymes. Actions. Temperatures. Okay. Enzymes are sensitive to the thermal changing because they are made of protein substance. So that's the enzyme activity is limited in a narrow range between of temperatures comparatively to the normal chemical reactions, as each enzyme has a certain temperatures at which the enzymes is more active and called the optimal temperatures. What the meaning of optimal temperature؟ درجة الحرارة المثلى. Minimal temperatures درجة الحرارة الصغرى اللي هي أقصى activity هيبقى عندها، خلاص أقل activity، سوري مش أقصى، أقل activity هتكون عندها درجة الإيه؟ الحرارة. That's right. That means that we can understand from the explanations each enzyme had a ranging or optimal temperatures. I think this is appropriate, 37, but its scientists told us it's ranging between 37 to 40. Okay. The temperatures decrease below the optimal temperatures until reaching to the minimum temperatures at which the enzyme's activity the lowest, and it stops completely at 0. Temperature 0, activity of the enzyme stop completely, but the enzyme restore its activity, gets reactivated, okay, reactivated once more on rising the temperatures. Okay, the temperature rising above the optimal temperature, that means that optimal temperature 37 Celsius degree, rising 40, 45, 50. Okay, I think it's not appropriate for the human being. No temperature in human being reaching to the 45 or 50, but another living organism in animals, okay, not restricted only on the human being, but in all living organisms, especially in animals. The temperature reaching more than the certain limits, maybe reaching to 50, 55. Okay, the temperatures rises above the optimal temperatures until reaching the certain temperatures at which the enzymes activity stop completely. Why stop completely? Due to the changing of its natural compositions. ما بقاش enzymes. أنا بتعامل مع الانزيم ده إنه حاجة enzymes. Pepsin, for example, digestion the proteins. Temperatures increasing more than the certain limit, more than the optimals. It's composed, okay, and lyses and lost its appropriateness. So it's no enzyme at the previous known. مش ده اللي نعرفه. تغير نتيجه لمين؟ increasing the temperature more than the certain limit. Okay, and the enzymes will not restore the activity even after decreasing the temperature's enzyme activity. That's right. Okay, examples as the following graph show the relations between the activity of the two enzymes. Enzymes most activity essentials and peak in the 37 Celsius degree, and another enzymes make in the 30 Celsius degree. There is a difference between the enzymes activity and the temperatures from living organism to another living organism. Temperature at which enzyme is starting its activity, minimal temperatures 16, enzymes B 16. The temperature at which the maximum enzymes activity optimal, that means that optimals المثلى أو الدرجة الواقعية، تمام؟ appears 35 40. Temperature at which the enzyme activity stop 55. Why stop at 55? Because increasing more than the certain limit. Certain optimal temperatures, it's work efficiency. What the meaning of efficiency? We can so define the optimal temperature is the temperature at which the enzyme most efficiency. It's called 37, ranging between the 4 Celsius degree. Okay, so the enzyme stop completely at the Celsius 55 Celsius degree because the temperature is increasing more than the certain limit. That's right. Okay, the thermal ranging of the enzyme activity. Each enzyme have a certain ranging activity. Thermal ranging activity may be 16, 40, 55 according to the living organism in it. For example, in human being, ranging activity from 37 Celsius degree to 40, the most efficiency of the enzymes. Okay. Suitable temperatures are recording on some clothes. detergents اللي هي المنظفات الصناعيه، احنا بنعمل منظفات صناعيه اللي هي بنستخدمها في الكلوزس، في الواشنج كلوزس، لازم بيكون لها تمبريتشرز ولازم يكون لها درجه حراره معينه عشان الانزيم يبقى افشنسي ويقدر يشتغل ويديني كفاءه عاليه جدا بان يقدر ينظف ويعمل كلينرز انسايد اللي هي الايه ميكانيك ماشينز اللي هي الغساله بتاعتنا. To using them properly، تمام؟ اوكي. To using them probably in order to provide the optimal temperatures. That's right. Why? Because the enzyme most efficiency and make a proper correct about this detergents. That's right. Which the enzymes present in these detergents work with their maximum activity. That's right. Okay? Now, can you remember about the explaining from the previous? Test yourself. Okay. Take your times. Okay? The enzyme activity increasing the period from 2 4, the higher concentration of the reaction at the 0. Okay. Which of the following illustrating the relations between the temperatures and the enzyme activity? The enzyme activity increase gradually with the continuous rising of the temperatures. That's right. The enzyme activity increase continuous. If the temperature increasing continuous, the activity of the enzymes stop completely. Why? Because it's increasing more than the certain limits. That's right. B, the enzyme activity decrease gradually with the continuous rising of the temperatures. The enzyme activity decrease gradually with the continuous rising of temperatures. Not appropriate, not logical. Why? The enzyme activity increasing by increasing the temperature on a certain limit until reaching to the optimal temperature. Then it decreases. Okay. The enzyme activity increase gradually. Then the decreasing with the continuous rising of the temperatures. Okay. That's right. The enzyme activity increase gradually. Then decrease with the continuous rising of the temperature. I think you are answer from that point and dealing with me after a few seconds and take your times. Last answers in the multiple choice questions. D, the enzyme activity decrease gradually, then increasing with the continuous rising of temperatures. So the best answer, take your times, okay, is at the increasing the temperatures. By increasing the temperatures, then it decreases. Okay. Power of hydrogen. So it's called concentration of the positive hydrogen ions, pH. I explained it before and repeated it again. pH, that means that the concentration of positive hydrogen ions in the solvents, whether neutrals, acidic, or basic. That's right. The number of hydrogen ions, 7 is neutrals, as waters is acidic, as that found in acidic, it's 1 from 1 to 6. And the basic or alkalines from 8 to 15. Okay. Power potentials of hydrogen pH is the measurement then, tamam, okay. That determines the concentration of hydrogen ions in a solutions in order to determine whether the solution is acidic, alkalines, basic, or neutrals. That's right. Solutions. Acidic solution, the hydrogen powers is less than 7. Neutral solutions, the powers of hydrogen is equal 7. Alkaline solutions, the hydrogen power is greater than 7 pH. Okay? The value of power of hydrogen pH of solutions ranging between 0 to 14, depending on the opposite, okay, the positive hydrogen ion concentrations, positive hydrogen ion. This clear in the following figures. 1 to 6 is acidic, 8 to 14 is alkaline or basic. Neutral hydrogen power pH 7 equal pH value of a pure water at temperature 25 Celsius degree. That's right. Okay. Enzymes are affected by the change in pH value because they are protein substances that contains acidic carboxyl groups. We studied previously the structures of the enzymes. It's essentials amino acid, structure of amino acid, carboxyl group COH acidic, amine group H2N basic or alkalines, and alkyl group that determines the type of the amino acid and differentiation from another amino acid and H. So as acidic, okay, naturally it occurs, it's affected by the concentration of positive hydrogen ions. Why? Because the concentration of positive hydrogen ions in solvents, it's acidic or base, but the carboxyl group is acidic. And the another sides from the concentrations of the amino acids, basic amino acid groups at NH2 is alkalines. Each enzyme has an optimal pH value at which it's working with a maximum efficiency. That means that as the explanations in this previous temperatures, the side effects that affecting the enzymes, it's called in this point the pH at optimal pH. Each enzyme has optimal pH. That means that the enzymes most efficiency, work efficiency in this point of pH and different from enzyme to another. And if the pH is lower or higher than the optimal value, the enzyme activity decreases until it stops. Examples: pepsin enzymes working in acidic medium in the stomach. Important too. Why? Play an important role in digestions of the proteins. So its work in the acidic medium. 1.5, 2.5, 2.5. Okay. Pepsin enzymes working in the stomach at the acidic pH value, ranging, okay, ranging from 1.5 to 2.5. Number 2, pepsin trypsin enzymes working in a small intestine at a basic pH value ranging between or from 7.5 to 8. Number 3, most enzyme working at pH value equal 7.4, nearly neutral, merely neutrals medium as the amino acid molecules that's from the enzymes contain acidic carboxyl groups COH and basic amino groups and H2. There is the difference between the neutrals and neutrals, not neutrals, but weak alkaline medium. Neutral, it's not correct, but weak alkaline medium. For example, digestions it's occur inside your mouth. In your mouth, the buccal digestions is beginning with the neutral effect. 7.4s add the neutral effect. For example, digestion the starch is starting in the mouth by actions of the amylase enzyme or ptyalin enzymes. Digestions the starch into glycogen into maltose to molecule of glucose by helping of amylase enzymes or the ptyalin enzyme in mediums. 7.4 weak alkaline in medium, not neutral. Neutral only 7s. Okay. Factors which increasing the speed of the enzymatic reactions. The increase of the enzyme concentrations. By increasing the enzyme concentrations, the speed of the enzymatic reaction, it's okay. The increasing of the substrate concentrations, it's increase. The enzymatic reactions, it's increase. The optimal temperatures for the enzyme actions, okay? If the enzyme appropriating in or working efficiency and the optimal temperatures, it work already in the efficiency and at the temperatures optimals. By changing the temperatures, it stop or maybe decreasing until reaching the stop completely. The optimal pH value for the enzyme actions, the absence of inhibitors. Okay, that's right. Okay, Now we are studying about the main questions, small questions about this point to ensure you understood this point carefully. Please take your times and be concentration with me. That's right. Okay. Also, the enzymes that are present in the human stomach are transferred with food to the small intestine. They have no actions inside the small intestine, and this is due to number A. Again, these questions, please. In this point, you must be concentrated in this headline of these questions. Why? Any discrepancies in the questions or not understood it be carefully lead to make and solving these problems wrong. So it's be concentrated in this headlight or highlight of these questions. Why? In this new exams, it's found today and this hours, years, it's spending on think, pair, and shares. Okay? So I repeated these questions again. Also, the enzymes that are present in the human stomach are transferred with food to the small intestine. They have no actions inside the small intestine, and this due to no actions. It's okay inside the small intestine. What do you expect before I can tell you about the multiple questions in this point? Okay, maybe temperatures or maybe pH. I think me give two answers. Please take your times. That's right. I tell you about this multiple questions, MCQ A, B, C, and D. A, the shortage in the energy required for the enzymes actions inside the cavity of the small intestines. B, the difference in the temperatures between the small intestines and the stomach. First one, explaining, okay, the difference in the temperatures between the small intestines and the stomach. C, the difference of pH value in the small intestines than the stomach. D, the lack of food concentration in the small intestine than the stomach. Number A, the shortage in the energy required for the enzyme actions inside the cavity of the small intestines. This logic? Take your times. The difference in temperatures between the small intestines and the stomach. This logic? The temperatures on all body, it's constant 37 Celsius degree. No difference. That's right. The difference of pH value in the small intestine than the stomach. I think it's the piece right. The lack of the food concentration in the small intestine than the stomach. Take your times and give me answers, not depending for me, but independent for you, this answers. Okay. The best answers is C. Okay. After explaining these lessons, we can make a main point in this lessons. Enzyme, metabolic. It's consists of two processes, catabolic and anabolic. Is essential for our lives. Okay? Without catabolic and anabolic, or catabolism and anabolism, lead to death. Catabolic accompanied or associated with energy. Anabolic, play an important building unit of living units. So it's essential for the childhood to helping in reaching to puberty. That's right. Catabolic and anabolic essential for life. This process is occurred inside the living cells by helping enzymatic actions. Enzymes, biological catalyst made up of proteins. Proteins enter the structure essentials of the enzymes. Enzymes had play an important role to accelerate the vital process action is occurred inside the living cells. In presence of the enzymes, the activation energy is low. Why? Because it reduces the activation energy. Enzymes, has a main characteristic. Each enzyme has specific substrate. We told this is examples. Key and lock. Enzyme key. Substrate lock. Each enzymes has specific substrate. يعني lock يعني enzyme. هنقول الانزيم ده قفل حته اللحمه دي السبستريت هتخش تفتحه عشان يعمل عمليه digestions ويدينا حاجه اسمها intermediate compound. Okay? Enzyme affecting with the many factors. For example, temperatures. High temperatures is affecting the enzymes. Temperatures in the human being ranging between 37 Celsius degree to 40 degree. The second enzyme, it affecting directly pH. Each enzymes has as a specific pH value. pH value, concentration of the positive hydrogen ions in a solid, whether acidic, base, or alkyl or neutrals. So each enzyme working efficiency in optimal pH. For example, vocal digestions, For example, digestion of the starting in the mouth, depending on the thiolines or the amylase enzymes work in the not neutrals, as I said, told previously, but it is weak alkaline medium, 7.4 pH. And in the stomach, there is a difference in the pH value. pH value in the stomach, it's one ranging from between 1.5 to 0.5 in our stomach, okay? And in small intestine ranging between 8. So previously, we can explaining the optimal pH, it's 8 most enzyme working in the human being efficiency. Thanks for a lot, dear student. I hope to meet you. You are well, and see you again. I wish I could see you again in a best healthy. Thanks a lot for you. See you later. Greetings from me, Mr. Hatim Mansour, biology teacher. Thanks for you a lot. Goodbye.